I cannot breathe in this relationship anymore. That is what Chloe said to me at dinner in Positano, 6 days into what was supposed to be our dream vacation. I had a ring in my jacket pocket. My grandmother's ring. She had been talking to someone else for months, she said. An American photographer in Italy named Tyler Brooks. This trip was supposed to confirm what she already knew. She wanted something different. Someone different. She was staying in Italy after our flights to figure things out with him. I paid the bill without saying a word, left a 40% tip, and walked back to our hotel. That night, I sat on the balcony and opened a new note on my phone. I titled it Exit Strategy. Chloe and I have been together for 6 years. We met in college at a party I didn't want to attend. She studied communications and photography. I finished my engineering degree. After graduation, we moved to San Diego together. I got a job as a mechanical engineer at an aerospace firm. She became a travel and lifestyle influencer, and she was good at it. Within 2 years, she had 200,000 followers and brand deals with boutique hotels and sustainable fashion companies. I funded most of it initially. Equipment, travel, our apartment in North Park with good natural lighting for her content. She contributed what she could from sponsorships, but the math never balanced. I didn't mind. She was chasing her dream. That is what you do when you love someone. Right? The Italy trip was my idea. 6 years together. No extravagant vacation, 2 weeks on the Amalfi Coast. I had been planning it for 8 months, saving extra, researching everything. Chloe was excited, planning outfits and shot lists, reaching out to local businesses for collaborations. The first 3 days were perfect. Pasta with lemon, fresh fish, hiking the path of the gods. She took hundreds of photos. I took photos of her taking photos, which made her laugh. She seemed happy. I kept touching the ring box in my pocket, waiting for the right moment. Day 4. She mentioned a sunrise yoga session with a local creative friend who ran retreats. She would be back by noon. She came back at 2, glowing and smelling like cologne. I didn't recognize. She said they grabbed coffee after and talked about art and philosophy, and the difference between existing and truly living. She kept going back. Day 5, another session. Day 6, a group hike. She was texting constantly, phone always angled away. When I asked, she said she was coordinating with creators she would met through Tyler's retreat network. I suggested we do something together. She said she was tired, wanted to nap, maybe edit photos. That evening, I made a reservation at the restaurant I had been saving for the proposal. The one with the view that required booking weeks in advance. I wore the linen shirt she had bought me. She wore a white dress I had never seen before. We ordered wine. The sun was setting. I was reaching for the ring box when she put her hand over mine and said we needed to talk. I cannot breathe in this relationship anymore. I didn't feel shocked. I felt something click into place, like a machine part finally seating correctly. All those mornings she had left early, all those texts angled away. It made sense now. I asked if she would slept with him. She said no, not yet. But that wasn't the point. Tyler understood her in ways I didn't. He saw her as an artist, not just a content creator. With me, she felt safe but small. She felt like she was playing house instead of living. I asked if she had planned this. She nodded. She thought the trip might change things. Instead, it confirmed what she had been feeling for months. She was sorry. She never meant to hurt me. She just couldn't ignore what her heart was telling her anymore. I left cash on the table and stood up. Then I guess you can start by figuring out where you will live when you get home. I walked back to the hotel and sat on the balcony until it was too dark to see anything but boat lights. That is when I opened my phone and created that note exit strategy. The apartment was in my name. The credit cards were in my name, everything. I had set it up that way years ago because my credit score was better. I never imagined needing it as leverage. I wasn't angry yet. I just felt cold and clear-headed. I typed out everything I needed to do. Change the locks, contact property management, remove her from accounts, arrange for her belongings to be collected, transfer her money back. Document everything. She came back around midnight. She asked if we could talk. I told her I had booked her a flight home for tomorrow, separate from mine. I would stay the extra week alone. She could pack tonight. I would sleep on the couch, she cried. She said I was being cruel, that she had expected us to figure this out together like adults. I told her she had figured it out already, months ago, and I was just catching up. I told her I would send an email with details. Everything would be handled professionally. Right now, I am at a cafe in Sorrento writing this on my phone because I don't know what else to do. Chloe flew out yesterday. I have 6 days here alone. I keep thinking about that ring, about how close I came to asking someone to spend their life with me who was already planning her exit. Am I doing the right thing? Should I have fought for her? Or is it pathetic that part of me still wants to? Update 1. I stayed the full 2 weeks, like I had planned. After Chloe left, I moved to a smaller, cheaper hotel. I hiked every morning until my legs ached. I ate at places where no one spoke English. I read 3 novels. I didn't open Instagram once. Chloe texted me 4 times that week. The messages started apologetic and shifted toward accusatory. She wanted to know if I had calmed down enough to talk reasonably. She said I was punishing her for honesty. She asked if I was really throwing away 6 years over one mistake. I didn't respond. When I landed back in San Diego, I went straight to the apartment. A locksmith met me at 8 in the morning. New deadbolt, new keys, done in 30 minutes. I photographed everything. Then I packed up Chloe's things. 6 years takes up more space than you would think. I packed everything carefully into labeled boxes and took photos of every item. A moving company came that afternoon and moved everything to a storage unit. I emailed Chloe the information, the access code, and a notice that she had 30 days before storage fees would accumulate. I kept the email brief and factual. I went through our shared finances, removed her from the joint credit card called the utilities, went through our shared travel fund, calculated exactly half, and transferred $3,200 to her account with a memo that said for the freedom you wanted. My mom called while I was doing all this. Somehow, she knew. I gave her the abbreviated version. She was quiet, then said, "Baby, I am so sorry, but I am proud of you. Your daddy would be too." We didn't talk about my father often. He had died when I was 19, but I felt the weight of that comparison. It helped work, was a welcome distraction. 2 weeks after I got back, my boss called me into his office. The project lead position had opened up. The previous guy was taking extended leave for his own divorce. Ironically, they wanted someone reliable, someone who could handle pressure. They wanted me. I took the promotion. Better title, better pay. I moved into the office with the window that actually opened, but Chloe started emailing. Long messages about how I had blindsided her, how she had been honest, and I had responded with cruelty. She said changing the locks was vindictive. She said I had taken away her home, her stability, all because she had been brave enough to tell the truth. I didn't respond. My lawyer Marcus advised me to keep every message but never engage. Document everything. Respond to nothing. Then Chloe's Instagram started changing. Comments asking why she had deleted photos of us. Someone noticed Tyler's posts from months ago, featured her in the background, dated from before our Italy trip. Someone else found posts from Chloe about authentic love and honest relationships, posted while she was falling for someone else. Her follower count started dropping, a few hundred, then 1,000, then more. Her comments section turned. People calling her a hypocrite, people tagging the brands she worked with, asking if they supported infidelity. I didn't participate. Jenna, my coworker and close friend, showed me screenshots one afternoon over coffee. She had been following the drama because she wanted to make sure I was okay. She had always liked Chloe but thought she was exhausting. The brand started pulling out. Chloe sent me an email blaming me for ruining her career. She said I must have poisoned the well somehow. She demanded I fix it. I didn't respond. I forwarded the email to Marcus, who added it to his documentation file. Then Chloe's parents reached out. Her father called my cell. He apologized. He said they had raised her better than this, that they were disappointed in her choices, and they understood why I had done what I had done. He hoped I would find happiness with someone who deserved me. His voice cracked, and I had to swallow hard to keep my own voice steady when I thanked him. I don't feel victorious. I just feel tired. Tired and relieved and occasionally hit with waves of grief. I will see her favorite cereal and have to leave the aisle. I will hear a song she used to sing and have to change the station. I will wake up at 3 in the morning reaching for someone who isn't there. But I am not falling apart. I am getting up every morning, going to work, meeting Jenna for coffee, calling my mom on Sundays, Some days are harder than others, but I am handling it. Chloe's still in Italy with Tyler, as far as I know. Her parents mentioned she is staying with him, figuring things out. They didn't sound optimistic, but didn't elaborate. I didn't ask. Someone asked if I had sold the ring yet. I haven't. It is in my dresser drawer under socks I never wear. I am not sure what to do with it. Maybe I will give it to my mom for safekeeping. Maybe I will hold on to it until I meet someone who deserves it. I haven't decided. What I have decided is that Chloe was right about one thing. She couldn't breathe in our relationship, but it wasn't because I was suffocating her. It was because she had built her identity around chasing the next high, and stability felt like stagnation. She confused peace with boredom. That is not something I could fix. That is something she has to figure out herself, preferably with someone else's heart. Update 2. I received an email from Tyler 2 weeks ago. Subject line said man to man, which told me everything. The email was long, but the summary: he didn't know Chloe was still in a serious relationship when they started talking. She had told him we were basically roommates who had grown apart, staying together out of convenience. He believed her because why wouldn't he? But she had been staying at his place for almost 3 weeks. And the fantasy was cracking. She was expensive. She expected him to fund her lifestyle like I had. She wanted to go out constantly, wanted him to photograph her constantly, wanted access to his network constantly. She wasn't interested in his work or his art, just what he could do for her brand. He felt used. He felt foolish. He wanted me to know he was ending things, that she would be leaving Italy soon, and that he was sorry for his part in blowing up my life. He didn't expect forgiveness, just thought I deserved to know the truth. I read that email 3 times. Then I did something I am not entirely proud of but don't regret. I forwarded it to her brand management agency, the one that had put her sponsorships under review after the social media backlash. The email was proof. Proof she had lied about our relationship to pursue someone else. Proof she had misrepresented herself to her audience. Proof that the authentic love she had built her brand around was performative. They dropped her within 24 hours. A formal statement went out about professional relationship terminated due to contractual misrepresentation. They didn't name specifics. Her followers connected the dots immediately. The internet did what it does. Within 48 hours, she had lost another 50,000 followers. Pending brand deals got canceled. Her entire career essentially imploded. I felt something when I saw this. Not quite satisfaction, not quite guilt, something in between. Vindication, maybe, or just exhaustion that this was the world we lived in. Then last Monday, my building's doorman called at 7 in the morning. There was a woman in the lobby claiming she lived in my apartment. No keys, no fob. She wanted him to let her up. She was crying, making a scene. I told him she didn't live there anymore, not to let her up under any circumstances. Call building security if she refused to leave. I heard Chloe's voice in the background, high-pitched and desperate. I went to work early and called Marcus. He said what she was doing could potentially constitute harassment. Document everything. Avoid direct contact. Let him know if she showed up again. She didn't. Instead, she left a handwritten note on my windshield that evening. Expensive stationery, shaky handwriting. I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. Please call me. I know you are angry, but we can fix this if you just talk to me. I love you. I never stopped loving you, please. I photographed it front and back, uploaded it to cloud storage, sent copies to Marcus. Then I threw it away. Marcus said if she tried again, we would have grounds for a restraining order. She hasn't tried again. But I have been hearing things. Her mother called me, crying, apologizing. Chloe had moved back in with them and was struggling badly. She had lost her career, Tyler, her community, her sense of purpose. She was talking about reinventing herself, maybe becoming a mindfulness coach. Her mother asked if I would consider talking to her just once, to give her closure. I said no as gently as I could. I said closure doesn't come from other people. It comes from accepting your own choices and their consequences. Her mother cried harder, thanked me for being kind, and hung up. Jenna asked me last week if I felt guilty. We were at our usual coffee shop. She wanted to know if I was second-guessing any of it. I thought about it. The truth is, I do feel bad for Chloe. Not bad enough to let her back into my life, but bad that watching another person's life fall apart is never pleasant, even when they built the circumstances. But no, I don't feel guilty. I didn't destroy her career. I didn't turn the internet against her. I just stopped protecting her from the natural consequences of her own actions. She wanted freedom. I gave her exactly that. If that freedom feels more like free fall, that is not my fault. Then Jenna asked if I was ready to start dating again. I said honestly I had no idea. The thought of trusting someone felt impossible right now, but I wasn't opposed to it someday. She smiled and asked if I would want to get dinner sometime. Not coffee, actual dinner, no pressure. And I realized we had been having coffee 3 times a week for a month. I realized I looked forward to it, that her presence had become comfortable and steady. I realized I had been telling her things I hadn't told anyone else. So I said yes. We are getting dinner this Friday. A Vietnamese place downtown. Nothing fancy. Just dinner between 2 people who might become something more, or might just become better friends. Either outcome feels okay. I checked Chloe's Instagram last night. I am not sure why. She had deleted every photo of us. Her most recent post was a sunset with a long caption about losing yourself. The last line said, "Sometimes you have to lose something real to realize fantasy was the lie." I didn't like it. I didn't comment. I just closed the app. Because she was right. Probably for the first time in months. She did lose something real. My concern is the life I am building. The promotion, the friendships, the possibility of Friday's dinner, the fact that I can wake up without feeling like I am performing stability for someone who resented me for it. That is freedom too. The kind Chloe never understood. Final update: Chloe's trajectory has been exactly what you would expect. Tyler moved to Portugal for another project. Chloe moved back in with her parents in Scottsdale. She got a part-time job at a boutique that sells overpriced candles and linen clothing. Her Instagram is occasional posts about gratitude and growth. Generic content that gets polite likes from relatives. I know this because her mother called one last time about 6 weeks ago. She wanted me to know Chloe was in therapy, working on herself, trying to understand why she had sabotaged something good. Her mother thanked me for how I had handled everything. She didn't ask me to reach out. She just wanted me to know Chloe was going to be okay. Eventually, I appreciated that. Despite everything, I never wanted Chloe destroyed. I just wanted her to not be my problem. My life has changed in smaller, better ways. The promotion led to another opportunity. I am heading a new project with a European aerospace company, which means occasional travel to Munich. I am genuinely excited. I am building something that will orbit the Earth and help people communicate across impossible distances. There is poetry in that. Jenna and I have been dating for 2 months. It is not a whirlwind. It is steady and comfortable and real. She knows my coffee order. I know she gets quiet when stressed and just needs someone to sit with her. We cook dinner together on weeknights. We watch movies. We talk about work and family and nothing at all. She met my mother last month. They talked for 3 hours about gardening. My mother pulled me aside before we left and said, "This one sees you, baby, the real you. Hold on to that." I told her I would. The ring is gone. I sold it a month ago through an estate jewelry dealer. I kept half the money and donated the other half to a mental health organization that provides free therapy for people going through relationship trauma. Turn something painful into something useful. The strange thing about moving forward is how ordinary it feels. I thought healing would be more dramatic. Instead, it has been a slow fade. One morning I realized I hadn't thought about Chloe in 3 days, then a week. Then I had occasionally remember we had been together and feel surprised, like it happened to someone else. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I don't feel much about her anymore, which is probably the healthiest outcome. She taught me important things about myself, most of them painful. I am grateful for the lessons, even if I would have preferred not to learn them that way. Last week, I got an email from her. No subject line, the body said. "I see now what I threw away. You were my peace, and I called it suffocation. I hope whoever you are with understands what they have. You deserved better than me." I read it twice, then archived it without responding, not out of cruelty, but because there was nothing to say. She was right. I did deserve better. I am building better. Chloe said she couldn't breathe in our relationship. The truth is, she didn't want to breathe. She wanted to hold her breath and see how long the high would last. She wanted intensity, not intimacy, performance, not partnership. When I stopped being the audience, she finally had to face the ground. I gave her all the space she said she needed. Turns out, the air she wanted wasn't freedom at all. It was just another person willing to watch her self-destruct and call it authenticity. I am done being the backup plan for someone who mistakes stability for stagnation. I am building a life with someone who sees peace as the goal, not the problem. Who understands that boring is just another word for sustainable. Who knows that real freedom isn't the absence of commitment. It is the presence of choice. Every single day, Jenna chooses me. Not because I am funding her dreams, just because I am me. And that is enough. That is what Chloe never understood. Being enough, exactly as you are, for someone who sees you clearly.